Let me take these notes, okay? And also take this screenshot as the summary and please send it to the group. Questions? Do you have it in the group? Send it to me, please. Perfect. Perfect. There you have it. Yesterday we also talked about a transformation, no? We talked about transformation. The verb suffers a change in this structure. What happens to the verb, to the principal verb? Anyone?
In the first example, teacher, the boss invited her to party.
Yeah, precisely.
Invited.
Invited. What happens to the verb invited?
Is in past simple or yes, is in past simple.
Simple.
It's
look at the structure. Over here you have it.
Past. No, but past participle not because we don't have a verb to be. No.
It is past participle.
Yes.
Past participle is a form of the verb. There are three forms. No, well, four. Is the verb in simple form, the verb in past, the verb in past participle. That's the difference between regular and irregular verbs, and ing.
Okay.
You know, those are like the four transformations that the verb have. So in this case, it's not simple past. Simple past is more for a different application.
Okay.
Okay. It's important to get the difference between past and past participle because only past participle verbs can be passive. You know, only past participle verbs can be descriptions. In other words, adjectives. And why this is an adjective? This is an adjective because of the verb be, precisely. Every time you have an adjective, you need to use the verb to be. For example, if you say intelligent, give me an example with the verb intelligent.
He is intelligent.
Can you repeat, Jimmy? You had a connection problem.
He is intelligent.
He is intelligent. Very good. The verb is the verb be. So every time you have an adjective like intelligent, you need to use the verb be. That's why they are like together, verb be and an adjective. Okay, so you need to transform, in order to use passive voice, you need to transform the verb into an adjective so it can match. And this is what we are going to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about the construction of the passive voice. How to build the sentence in order to speak correctly. The next slide is about the corrections, self-corrections that you need to do when you speak. Okay? Yesterday, we talked about the verb be. Because the verb is in past participle and this is an adjective, the time is indicated by the verb be. So every time you talk about a description, the verb be will carry the time. The verb be in present is are. In past was were. Recent past and periods of time have or has been. And all this is in your structures handbook. This is what we have over here. Context number 1, descriptions in present, in past, or in my life. ING, we use also verb to be plus ING, you know? And this is also here. Happening now, or future plans, we use the verb am, is, are, and then the verb in ING. You see? When you are talking about interrupted actions in the past, we use was and were plus the verb in ING, being. And the rest is the same modal verbs. An infinitive is the verb to be. To be has no time, and being is the gerund. I'm going to teach you later how to use them. But the idea is that you understand the conjugations of the verb be, because you need to speak and use the nomenclature of the verb be correctly. Okay. Each of these contexts are used to speak about passive voice in different times. So if you talk about the invention of the telephone, which one are you going to use? Any idea? If you are talking about the invention of the telephone,
Could you repeat the question, please?
I repeat the question. If you are going to talk about the invention of the telephone, which one are you going to use?
Past before past.
Past before past. Why?
The sentence could be the cell phone had been invented
Okay.
in, I don't know, 60s. I don't know in which year was invented.
Well, it doesn't matter. The point is the structure, and nope, we don't use past before past, because past before past is precisely something that happened before another activity in the past, another action. So you need two actions. In this case, we are talking about only one, the invention of the telephone. So we don't use past before past. Any other idea, guys?
Past.
Simple. Which is what will be the sentence, Carla?
The telephone was invented by, I don't remember the name,
By that guy.
but
Yes, was invented. We are talking about a specific moment in the past, therefore we need the verb in simple past. But then we can talk about another topic and we can say, for example, things that are happening in this moment. Let's imagine that we are going to use the verb arrested. And there is a person in this moment outside of the building. And there are many, many cops arresting, ing. There are many, many cops arresting this man in the street. How do you use passive voice to speak about this situation? Brian, let's begin with you. There is a police arresting a man outside.
And I'm telling you that situation.
You're telling me that situation.
Okay. A guy was arrested there.
That is wrong because I am using the verb in ing and it's happening in this moment. If you say was arrested, you are talking about past and that doesn't match the context.
Okay, so that guy
Mhm,
is
mhm,
mm, is being being
mhm.
arrested.
Right. In this moment, complete idea with conviction.
That guy is being arrested.
Exactly. There is a guy outside of the building that is being arrested in this moment. Why do we use passive voice? Because the subject is pretty obvious. Who is the only person who can arrest people?
The police.
The police, and the police is an authority. So when you're talking about an authority, the subject is too obvious, and it's better to use passive voice. Add that. Now, what happens if we are going to use the verb release? This is the verb that we were talking yesterday about, the ones of the movies, remember? So Warner Brothers has the property of two very important movies that will happen or that will be in the cinemas in 2 weeks. Oppenheimer and Barbie. I have my tickets for both in this moment, of course. My question is, how do you say that using passive voice, using the verb release? Let's go with Elsie. Remember, we are talking about future.
I'm not sure. Barbie is going.
Okay.
Mm, no, I'm not sure.
You are precisely using going. Well, you're using a verb in ing,
Mhm.
right? You need, in order to speak about plans, according to the structured handbook, you are talking about context, right? Instead of going, use the verb be.
Mm, mm,
Now, how do you use the verb be in ing?
being.
That's it.
But Barbie is being
Oh, yes.
released.
All right.
Mm,
Sounds strange.
mhm.
Welcome to English. That is a structure in English. Is being released. Released in past participle. Right? So, complete idea. Give me a complete sentence also.
Barbie is being released. Uh, I don't know. Released by what? By
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers. Sorry, teacher.
No, but actually that part is not relevant because in a normal conversation, we don't usually speak about the studios, right? So precisely passive voice is used because the subject is relevant. You can tell me a different complement like next week, in 2 days, on July 27, I don't know.
Okay.
Yes,
Barbie is being released in 2 weeks.
perfect. Perfect, that's correct. That is correct. So that by, guys, remember that the by is only necessary when you consider that the subject is too relevant for the story. If it's not, don't worry about it. In this particular case, you can also use will. So Mitch, help me with the same structure, right? And consider that Barbie is going to be on the cinemas. Use the verb release, but instead of going to, instead of ing, use will. How do you say that in English?
Mm, Barbie, the movie will be released in 2 weeks.
Yes, yes, yes. Now we are talking about passive voice in different times. The last one, let's talk about the word reactions, resign, named. Oh, let's talk about identification. Okay, I'm going to use this one over here. And let's talk about identification. How do you say hime? We are going to use the word name, the verb name, to indicate that Louis Pasteur gave the name of pasteurization to the process of lactose, to the lactose process. How do you use passive voice to talk about this topic?
The main of lactobacillus, no, the main of pasteurization
Aha. The origins
was
of the name was
the one was discovered by Pasteur.
but that was not a discovery.
Eh?
That was not a discovery. Well, it was a discovery, but the name was not discovered. You know,
Okay. I got it.
I'm going to help you. Name is a verb.
Ah,
Name as a noun, of course, what's your name? but we are talking about the verb. Name, often passive, to give a name to something or somebody.
Okay. I understand main.
Name? No, the name.
Ah, okay.
Mhm.
And the question was
So you need to say that the word pasteurization, the origin of this word is the name of Louis Pasteur. There is a phrasal verb called name after. Probably it's over here. Name after.
ah, okay, okay.
The connector after talks about the origin of the name.
Yes.
Okay. So
Could you please repeat the question?
you need to tell me. You need to use passive voice to say that the word pasteurization comes from the word Louis Pasteur, the name.
Okay, okay, sorry. The word pasteurization was named
Yes,
by Louis Pasteur.
Louis Pasteur. That's right. I would say that it was named after Louis Pasteur.
After? Okay.
The connector after means that, for example, if my grandfather is called Fernando, so I was named after my grandfather.
Okay.
You see, it's like it's a hereditary name.
Okay, thank you.
There you have it, guys. So does anybody have a question?
No, really, teacher.
Awesome.
I just noticed that
What?
we can use passive voice in different time.
Exactly.
I
Yes,
I didn't know that.
you didn't know that.
Mm-mm.
Fantastic. That's really, really helpful to consider the verb be as the time. It gives you the flexibility to speak about this in future, in past, in present, in any time you want. That was precisely the point. Good, 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 good. So let's watch some examples, some real examples about passive voice used in different contexts with different times. Okay, look at this.
Cedric Diggory was murdered by Lord Voldemort.
I can't let you out, Hedwig. I'm not allowed to use magic outside of school.
Hogwarts has been chosen to host a legendary event.
What exactly happened to him?
He was sent to Azkaban.
Don't drink it, Ron. You could be expelled for that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Give me Harry Potter and you will be rewarded. You will have 1 hour.
Do you like Harry Potter? So cool, right?
Outside of school?
Here, Cedric Diggory was murdered by Lord Voldemort. When did it happen? In the past. That's why the verb to be is in past. The director is giving emphasis to Cedric Diggory. That's why he is using passive voice. The second example, we have Harry saying, I'm not allowed to use magic outside of school. This means that he doesn't have, or he's underage, so he cannot. It's similar to say cannot.
In this example, it's difficult to me.
Mm.
Identify this like passive voice.
Interesting. Okay, why?
Mm,
What if you think about who, the subject, who doesn't allow Harry to use magic?
Any authority?
Authority.
I
Exactly.
don't know who, because I didn't see Harry Potter, but
But there is an authority, right?
Mhm.
We can understand that implicitly. So you can say that the authority doesn't allow kids.
Mhm.
The verb is in active voice. Authority doesn't allow.
Mhm.
If you use the kids and you give emphasis to the kids, the authority becomes irrelevant and it says I or the kids are not allowed
I don't. Okay.
instead of don't. You know,
Teacher,
Mitch,
this sentence is in present.
precisely, exactly. Because in this moment is when the, well, that's a routine. Every time a kid uses magic in the school, outside of school, they receive a punishment. That's not
Okay.
allowed. Mhm.
Okay, and we can see that because the time of the verb be.
Exactly. The verb be
Okay,
determines the time.
okay,
Oh, yes.
I understand now. Thank you.
Perfect. We needed examples, right? Definitely.
Yes, it's easier.
Of course. Of course. But after all that information that we received before, these examples become super easy. This one is a little bit more tricky for people who have problems with auxiliary have. It says how words has been chosen to host a legendary event. By who? By an authority, but that authority is implicit. The authority chose how words. This is active voice. But in another case, passive, the subject becomes irrelevant and it becomes the protagonist of the story becomes Hogwarts. The verb to be is in form has been, which is structure number 6. Experiences and recent past.
Teacher,
Yes, Elsa.
which is the difference with present perfect?
It's the same.
Is it, oh, okay.
That's precisely the structure. Only present perfect is the grammatical name. But that's
Oh.
exactly the word.
And in the last, no, in the other example,
Mhm.
and
This one.
no, I'm not allowed.
I'm not allowed. That's not present perfect. That's simple present. I am.
Okay.
Remember that the verb in past participle, this one is actually an adjective.
Okay.
That's orange. So don't confuse the verb in past participle for structure 6 Oops.
Mhm.
Right. Structure 6 has a verb in past participle, right? But structure 8, no, 9. Structure 9 has a verb in past participle, but this should be considered an adjective, a description.
So, o sea, I mean, passive voice always has a verb to be
Right?
in any time
Anytime.
plus past participle.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Verb to be plus past participle adjective. We need to include that information over here. Auxiliary verb be. There we have it. So when you say I have Hogwarts has been chosen, chosen is not the verb. The verb is been. Chosen is the adjective. And that becomes easy peasy. Let's try with another. He was sent to Azkaban. Azkaban is a prison. In what tense is this? What time is this?
Past,
This
simple
is
past.
totally correct. This is a simple past structure talking about something that happened in a specific moment in the past. Precisely. In the next one, we have one of the most interesting ones. Could be expelled. Here, we are not using a simple verb. We are using a modal, could. And could is talking about possibilities in the future. With that possibility, or what is possibility for Ron in this example, is to be expelled. He can be expelled for cheating. There you have it, guys. Passive voice in different tenses. Any question? That's pretty easy. I think you're gonna dominate this very quickly. So let's go then to a conversation, right? What you need to do is to talk about, to use inspiration from the passive verbs in order to create examples in different times. If you're going to speak in present, if you're going to speak in past, about interrupted actions, actions that happened, you know, you need to use this information to create passive voice in different tenses corresponding to the context that we need to do. Let's build examples together. Number one, let's begin with Brian. Brian, tell me something that is, for example, something that is prohibited in different places like a shopping mall, for example. What cannot you do in a shopping mall?
In a shopping mall. Um,
What can't you do in a shopping mall?
mm, mm, mm. Enter with food.
Okay, but enter is a
Um,
yeah. You need to speak about you need a phrasal verb.
coming.
Exactly, come in. But if you say come in, you are inside. You invite people to come in. What is the contrary of go?
Go. Try. Go.
You can use go or get.
Get.
Mhm. Get in
Get.
or go in.
Get in. A shopping mall
Mhm.
with food is forbidden.
Forbidden. Okay, complete idea one more time.
Get in. Get it. Get in a shopping mall with food is forbidden.
Okay,
Ah!
almost. You are very close. You're very close. When you have a verb at the beginning of the sentence, you need to use the gerund.
Getting.
Exactly. Complete.
Getting. Getting in or
Uh-huh.
getting into? I am confusing now.
Okay.
Getting,
What do
getting
you know
in,
about each? Uh-huh.
getting in a shopping mall with food is forbidden.
There you have it. That sounds good. That sounds good. But I enter the cinema with my pizza. I don't know you. That's good.
Not now.
Very well. Okay. Now let's talk about things happening right now. Get some inspiration. Go, Jimena. Give me something that is happening right now, but use a passive expression. Anything that you have seen in the news, anything that you have seen in the social media. Tell me anything that is happening right
Present.
now.
Okay,
Action.
I am eating a hamburger and some fries.
Okay, but that is not passive voice.
Okay, okay. Sorry. Um, let me think.
You have the inspiration on the screen. Go, go.
Okay, okay. The picture was taken by her.
But taken
Not
or
take. No,
was taken is past.
is taking.
Okay, close,
No,
close, close,
is
close.
no.
What verb in the passive voice, what section indicates the time?
Ajá.
I repeat, what component of the passive voice indicates the time?
The verb
The
in
verb.
present
What verb?
to be.
The verb be. That's the one that indicates the time. And if you are talking about things that are happening in this moment, you need it in ing form.
Ajá.
How do you say that?
The picture is being
Excellent.
just is being taken
Good. The picture is being taken
by her.
by her or her.
Per.
Good. Excellent. Yes, of course. Yes, it's happening. Good. Good, good, good. Let's go to the next.
I have a question with that.
Of course, brother. Tell me.
I was thinking in the picture is taken.
Is
Is the verb be or not?
well, that will be an interesting part. What's the difference between is taken and is being taken? If you say the verb is, the simple verb, you are talking about something that is routinary, like food,
Oh yes.
right? When you get in a shopping mall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if you say is being taken, it's happening right in this moment.
Yes, just once in this moment.
Correct.
Not
It's
all.
happening while we are having the conversation.
Okay.
Mhm. Something relevant that we need to take into consideration, guys, is to use a time expression. Okay, if you are going to use a verb in ing, try to use a time expression as in the structure handbook. So if you say is being taken by Fer, don't forget to say right now. No, the time expression is a part of the sentence that makes me understand the time. It's together, the verb be and the time expression. Right? Let's try with the next one. Interrupted actions. Let's try this one with Mitch. Imagine that there was something happening in the office yesterday when something else interrupted it. Something was happening yesterday when something else interrupted it.
I was being surprised by my coworkers.
Okay.
By my coworkers. By my coworkers with extra work.
Uh-huh.
That was a surprise.
That was a surprise, of course, but you need something else to indicate that it was interrupted. So your structure is right, but what interrupted that surprise? You can use a connector when.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I was being surprised when my coworkers. No. I was being surprised when my coworkers give me extra work.
Okay. Give me is present.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Give me is present. So you are not speaking in present. What is the past of give?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
You are talking in present or in past?
In past.
Then what is the past of give?
Gave.
Exactly.
Gave me.
Gave me.
Yes. And my coworkers, yes, gave me extra work.
Exactly. Much better. Another one. Tell me something that happened, Carla. Something that happened in the past.
Teacher,
Yes, of course, Elsie.
I have a question. Mm, can you
Go back.
go back?
Sure.
If I say I was surprised when my coworkers gave me extra work, is this wrong?
No, actually, it is better because I was surprised when my coworkers gave me extra work. The reason why you were surprised was the extra work. So it's a direct consequence. In the case of I was being surprised, I was thinking in something different, but Mitch gave a different example. In the beginning, she said, I was being surprised by my coworkers with extra work. And then the interruption should be an additional sentence, something else that interrupted the surprise. For example, when the supervisor took some of it away. So the surprise was, here's some extra work. I am surprised. And then the supervisor is like, no, don't worry. I will take this. That's an interruption. You see? So there is something happening in the case of Mitch's example. We need to take care on the context of what you are saying. This interrupted action means that there is something else affecting the principal sentence. You see? That doesn't mean that the previous example was incorrect. Technically, the other was correct, but it needed more context.
Okay, it's not clear for me.
Okay.
I was watching the handbook, and when you said interrupted actions, I think I only need subject, a verb in past, and ing. But here I have verb in past, ing, and a description.
Because this is passive voice. The
So,
structures handbook, all the structure handbook is in active voice.
oh, okay. Yeah.
Ajá, ajá. Yes, 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 yes. This
Thank
would
you.
be a structure. You are watching a structure 3, but you need to watch structure 9
9.
with the
Okay.
corresponding verb be.
Okay. Yeah.
That was the issue. I understand. I understand.
Thank you.
Good, good. There you have it, guys. Well, this is the first demo of the week. Now you will see that the use of language classes will be longer a little bit because it has a lot of information. Okay, so tomorrow, Thursday, we can continue with the next exercise, with the next use of language class, and on Friday, the listen. Okay, we finished for today. If you want to do some extra things, you can complete this board and send me your examples. That's on you. You decide. Right? Good job, guys. I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.